Now that we have the static introductory content on our classic book reviews page, it's time to create its title tag. To do this, let's go back to our document where we wrote the content and still have the keyword phrases at the top. You want to be able to see the page content as well as the keyword phrases that you've optimized it for when creating your title tags whenever possible. We want to try to string together just 10 to 12 words using our most important keyword phrases, but while also having it make sense to anyone who will see it as a clickable link in the search engine results page. Let's start out by just putting our 3 major phrases in. We'll start with great classic books to read, which combines 2 of our phrases, just like we did within the copy. Learning to combine words this way is especially handy for title tags since our space is so limited. So let's see. We also have must-read classic books. Let's add a hyphen, which is ignored and treated as a space by the search engines, and then add must-read classic books. You'll notice I'm typing these in with initial caps. While it doesn't matter to search engines if you use caps or not, as they are not case sensitive, it typically looks better to have your titles use initial caps, just like any kind of title uses. Okay, so we have 9 words here, and it looks pretty repetitive with classic, read, and books all being used twice. Let's see if we can figure out a way to use those phrases, but more succinctly. Since classic books is contained within both phrases, let's see what happens if we move the must read to the front and remove the last instance of classic books altogether. So we have must read great classic books. Since classic books is contained within both phrases, let's see what happens if we move the must read to the front and remove the last instance of classic books to read altogether. So we have must read great classic books. It's not quite using our exact phrases. That might be okay, but let's see what else we might try. How about this? Great classic books to read, hyphen, popular classic books. Again, okay, but now we're not making use of the second most highly searched phrase of must-read classic books. Let's try something different. Just like hyphens, search engines ignore most punctuation, such as periods, commas, and exclamation points. So you can sometimes use those to your advantage. How about this? Must read, with an exclamation point, classic books to read. That might be a good start. It gives us the must-read classic books phrase, plus the classic books to read phrase, all in just 6 words. So we have room for at least another phrase. Maybe we can do some more combining. Let's add a hyphen. As an aside, I prefer hyphens instead of commas in titles. It doesn't matter to the search engines, but just looks better to me. You can also make good use of colons in some title tags, as those are also ignored. So let's see. We have popular classic books and recommended classic books still left to use. Let's try to combine them into popular and recommended classic books. So now we have must read, classic books to read, popular and recommended classic books. While this isn't using both exact phrases, it's using recommended classic books, and since there are only 8 other pages out there which have that exact phrase in their title tag, we may stand a good chance of ranking for that phrase if we use that one in an exact manner. For the popular one, while it's not exact, it's still in close proximity to 2 uses of the words classic books, where it may help by just being there. I think we're good to go. Let's see what it looks like on the website. So now we can see our title tag here at the top of our browser. Must read, with an exclamation point, classic books to read, hyphen, popular and recommended classic books. And then the My Kindle Reviews is just added automatically by our template, which is fine. So just remember that your title tags don't have to be set in stone. You can always tweak them later if they don't seem to be working for you. But I usually suggest giving them at least a month or 2 to really get a feel for how they're working.